Hi everyone, Mike is my friend, originally from New York City, who has been a resident of Las Vegas for more than 20 years, but living abroad in Shanghai for the past 19 years. I'm originally from Shanghai and for the past 11 years living in Las Vegas. We recently talked about our interesting and contrasting living situations and wanted to share our experiences. So Mike, tell us about your career and how you ended up in Shanghai.
So I went to law school in Washington, D.C. I worked as a law clerk for 2 federal judges. I then went on to the U.S. Department of Justice. I was prosecutor there for 8 years. I moved to a small country called Palau. I was the Minister of Justice and Special Prosecutor. And I came to China in 2005 to be the CEO of Asia Pacific for a multinational company. So Jolene, tell us about your career and how you ended up in Las Vegas.
11 years ago, I married my husband, who lives in Las Vegas, and I moved from Shanghai to Las Vegas. I'm now a successful realtor and a licensed matchmaker and relationship coach. So Mike, what challenges did you experience in adjusting to Chinese culture?
So I had traveled to quite a few nations before I came to China, and I had lived in Palau for 6.5 years. So I truly understood that there are different cultures around the world and that you need to understand that even though you have your culture that you grew up in, which you generally think is the right culture and the best culture, that there are things to be learned wherever you are, and you need to appreciate the fact that other people do things differently. So if you go in with that attitude, that positive attitude that you want to learn and you want to grow, and that you're willing to accept other people's cultures and find beauty in those cultures, then you really don't have those sort of challenges in terms of adjusting. And same question for you, Jolene. What challenges did you experience in adjusting to the U.S. culture?
When I first went to the U.S., my English was not very good, and it seemed that the locals spoke very fast and used many slang words. I often could not understand what they were talking about. But Americans are quite inclusive, so if you can't understand something, just be polite and let them know that English is not your first language and ask them to explain to you. I don't say hi to a stranger walking towards me on the street before. In the US, people say hi to strangers. At first, I feel embarrassed. Now I will definitely respond with a big smile.
你的微笑最可爱。
And Mike, what recommendations do you have in building cross-cultural relationships?
People need to keep an open mind. And when they find that there are some differences that make them feel uncomfortable because it's different from their culture, they need to understand the fundamental reason for those behaviors and the benefits. Another critical issue is communication. If people use short sentences with simple words, it's always easier to avoid miscommunication. Finally, showing empathy, not frustration, and using a smile, as you mentioned, is in every culture a way to bridge differences, even if people do not speak the same language or do not speak those languages well. So, Jolene, what recommendations do you have in building cross-cultural relationships?
Be yourself. Don't try to hide your real feeling and express it in a good way. I cover this in more details in my training class. The more you feel relaxed in front of other people, the more attractive you will be. Get ready to make some compromise, such as food and life habits. Mutual respect and compromise will make your life easier and happier. It is always good for everyone to keep fit, make friends, and be popular.
Very well said.